So like I said in our previous class, we discussed about list collection, right? And we understand what is collection. Like I say, collection is just like a basket where you put a lot of data inside. And I say we have different types of collection in Python. We have list, tuple, set, and dictionary. So in our previous class, we discussed about list. We see how list accept data inside its basket. How did he structure them? That's what we call data structure. So now we're going to discuss about tuple. Since we understand list, now we're going to understand tuple. So what is tuple? Tuple is also a Python collection. When I say Python collection, I mean the moment you hear the word collection, just look at it as a basket. And this basket is being stored inside a memory. Your memory. Yes, inside your RAM. And the moment you put it, like if you normally we know that if we create a variable, for example, say name, we can only store a single value inside it. But now with collection, I can have like thousands of names and assign only a single memory space for them, which is what we call a collection, just acting like a basket. So now, what differentiates tuple? Because tuple is also a collection, we can store a lot of data inside it. So what differentiates it from list? Tuple is also an ordered. When I say ordered, the way you arrange your items or value, this is exactly how you're going to see them. And then tuple is immutable, just like list is not. List is mutable, yes, but tuple is immutable. When we see something is immutable, it means when you put it in a memory, you cannot update, you cannot remove, and also you cannot change, and also you cannot add another one. Since from the beginning, the moment you write it down, so you cannot add another one, you cannot change, you cannot remove. Do you understand? So now, how do we create a tuple basket, or I say tuple collection? The first thing you have to do is give it a name. So I can say, maybe let me create a tuple that will store the age of people. So I will call it ages. Ages like this. Then I say ages is equal to, so since if it's a tuple, we have to use parentheses. Parentheses like this. Then I put the name, maybe I put the age, I set 29, comma, 30, 50, this is the age of people, 60. So now this is my basket called ages. Then I put all these data inside. Which kind of data is this? Is an integer data, right? So all of these are ages of people. So now we put them all in a one memory space, which is tuple. Yes, tuple is using parentheses. Okay, the non-close ya ci gaba? In kika danna close din nan. Okay, yana recording din. So wannan int din shine this is the value, I'm sorry. This is the value, the data type. So these are all the data that we put inside these pages. So now, like I said, tuple, we cannot do something like this. Ages.add or ages.append, we cannot. Regarding from creating, this is how we create a tuple. But what about adding? When you create a tuple, you cannot add element to it. Removing, you cannot remove. Updating, you cannot update also. So, but what about reading? That simply you can also read, because when we use indexing and slicing, we can read element of tuple. So how can we read? You can just say ages, because all of those data have an index, just like a list. This one have a 0, 1, 2, 3. So they have an index. So I can just say ages when I call the name of the basket, which is the collection. Then in front of it, I put square bracket, and I put 0. Then it's going to give me 29, because 29 is the first element, which is I'm accessing the first element. When I say ages, square bracket, and put 2, then what am I going to see? 2. I'm going to see 50 because 50 is what have index 2. So this is how we read it apart from a specific. And also we can do slicing. Slicing, we can do something like ages index. So maybe I want to read from 30 all the way to 60. 30 so, and 60. Yes. So for the first element, I'm going to write 1, which is the first index. This one, I want to start from 30. So it has index 1. So I put index 1. Then colon. Then I put the index where I want to stop. I want to stop at 6, which is at index 3. So since I want to stop at this index 3, I have to add 1. This is how it works. If you want to include the last one, then you have to add 1. Same as, yes, same as list. Then we're going to put 4. And we're going to see the output like this: tuple of 30, 50, and 60. What something like this. To see 30 and 60 only. Then if you want to see 30 and 60, it's very simple. You just call your age, your basket, or I say collection. Then you put 1 colon 3, and that's all. It's going to show you 30, 50 only. Okay. Yes, you want to stop here, so you have to add 1. That's why it became 3. You want to stop here, then you have to add 1. That's why it became 4. 30 and 60. I don't want to see. Okay, if you want to see 30 and 60 only, you can do what we call a jumping. For example, when you say ages, then index 1, then you put, where do you want to stop? I want to stop here, 4. Then I put it, since it is index 3, then we have add 1 to the index, which will become 4. Then the last one is what we call a step. I want to jump over. So how many times I want to jump? So you will say I want to jump 1 time. So since it's 1 time you want to jump, you have to put 2. So now it's going to take what? It's going to show you 30, the first one. Then it's going to jump over the 60 in 50 and look for the 60. Do you understand? Yes. So this is how tuple works. So we can only create and read tuple. The moment we create and read, the rest we cannot do. Now we're going to do the practical aspect of tuple. As you can see, the practical of yesterday about list. So now we're going to do it for the tuple because it's the second one. So now, like we said, you can create in tuple, but when it comes to adding element in tuple, you can't, and also you can't remove, and also you can't update, but you can't read. You can read. So these are the things we can do in tuple. Can create, we can read. So let's see how are we going to create a tuple in our program. So creating a tuple is as simple as give it a name. Let me create a tuple of ages. Then I will say this is my collection, my basket where I'm going to store the age of people. So I say ages is equal to then comma, yeah, then parenthesis. Parenthesis is for tuple. Then say 20, 40, 30, that's 23, 57, 49. So this tuple, now I create a tuple. This is the tuple I created, and you cannot change what you put inside during the creation. For example, I can only read tuple, and like I said, this one has a position of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So I can just say ages, then index 0, which is going to give me this 20 because the 20 is at the position of 20 now, at the position of 0, which is the index. Now say print ages index 0, then it's going to show me 20. So as you can see, this is the output. So like I say, tuple is just a collection where you cannot change the English characters. So tuple is a collection, or I say a basket, where if you put something inside it, you cannot change. So let me try to change the 20. Let me say 20 is now equal to 30. So it's going to give me error telling me that object tuple does not support item assignment. Like I told you, it will not accept update. So if we set age dot append, you see, we cannot append anything. We cannot append. The reason why it doesn't accept adding elements as no attribute append. So what can you do with tuple? You can only create array, and then maybe you can count how many elements you have inside. You can just say length, count how many elements we have inside. Let me print. This length is going to give me how many elements I have inside the print statement. So I say print length, then see I have 6 elements. And also I can count how many specific elements I have inside it. Like I say ages.count, then I say 20. So it's going to show me one because I only have 120 inside. Let me print the output. When we run it, now see we only have one. It's telling me that I have only one element 20 inside, only 20 elements. If I have another 20, then it's going to show me 2. See? So these are the things you can only do with tuple: read, create. You cannot add, remove, update. So now in our next tutorial we're going to start looking at set. See you in our next video.